Hello, everybody. In this video, I'm going to talk about the lifelong impact of childhood sexual abuse and the pathway towards healing. I'm going to pick back up on this series now that the holidays are over with. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm once again trying to grow this channel and hopefully be able to do some good. Childhood sexual abuse is one of the most profound violations a person can experience. Its effects ripples through development, shaping emotional, cognitive, and relational patterns from the earliest years of life into adulthood. Understanding these impacts help caregivers, educators, and communities support survivors with compassion and evidence-based tools. Healing is possible at every age, and children, teens, and adults can reclaim safety, identity, and joy with the right support. The early childhood, the first wounds that happened through toddler and early elementary age. Young children do not have the language or cognitive framework to understand abuse. Instead, trauma shows up in their bodies, behaviors, and developing sense of safety. Some common impacts in toddlers and young children is regression, which can be bedwetting, clinginess, loss of speech progress, nightmares and sleep disturbances, heightened fearfulness of sudden fear of certain people or places, aggression or withdrawal, confusion about boundaries, or unusual knowledge of sexual topics, difficulty trusting adults, and that includes even the safe ones. At this age, the core harm is the disruption of basic safety, the foundation upon which all later development rests. When a child's earliest experiences include betrayal by an adult, their nervous system learns to stay on alert, shaping how they interpret the world around them. Middle childhood, the elementary to preteen age. And a lot of this trauma includes identity and shame. As children grow, they begin to understand more about relationships, roles, and right versus wrong. Abuse during this stage often creates deep shame in believing that they caused or allowed the abuse. Conflicted loyalty, if the abuser was someone that they knew. Difficulty forming friendships or trusting peers. Problems concentrating in school. Body image struggles or discomfort with physical closeness, as well as anxiety, depression, or self-blame. This is the age when children begin to internalize harmful narratives about themselves. Without support, these beliefs can follow them into adolescence. And then we have the adolescence age. Identity, autonomy, and risk. Teenagers who were abused early in life or who experience abuse during adolescence often face unique challenges. Risk-taking behaviors such as substance abuse or unsafe relationships, difficulty setting boundaries or saying no, hypersexuality or avoidance of intimacy, self-harm or suicidal thoughts. This is not always, but a lot of the times. Distrust of authority figures, intense anger, shame, or confusion about identity. Adolescence is a time of self-definition. Trauma can distort this process, making teens feel broken, unworthy, or unsafe in their own bodies. and adulthood, the long shadow of childhood abuse. Without intervention, childhood sexual trauma can echo into adulthood in too many ways. Chronic anxiety or hypervigilance, difficulty with intimacy, either emotional or physical, post traumatic stress symptoms, people pleasing or fear of conflict, challenges trusting partners or maintaining relationships, low self esteem or persistent shame, triggers related to touch, power dynamics, or certain environments. Some adults may not fully understand the roots of their struggles until much later in life. Healing is still absolutely possible, though. Supporting healing, coping mechanisms, and recovery tools for every age. Healing is not linear, and no single approach works for everyone. What matters is offering a wide range of tools so children, teens, and adults can find what resonates with them. Professional support, therapy. Trauma focused cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as TF CBT. Play therapy for young children, EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Somatic therapies that help reconnect with the body. Family therapy to rebuild trust and communication. Therapy provides structure, safety, and a trained guide to help survivors process trauma at their own pace. Support groups can also be very beneficial. Peer groups for teens or adults. Parent support groups for caregivers of young children. Community reduces isolation and shame. Creative expression. Creativity allows survivors to express what words cannot. Art-based healing, drawing, painting, or sculpting, collage or vision boards, coloring mandalas, or grounding. Writing and journaling, daily reflections, letters never sent to release emotions, poetry or storytelling, gratitude journaling to rebuild a sense of safety. Music and movement help, like playing instruments, singing, or humming for nervous system regulation, or dance with gentle movement to reconnect with the body. Nature-based and physical activities. The body holds trauma, and movement helps release it. Walking, hiking, or nature exploration. Gardening, which builds patience and nutrients. Yoga or stretching for grounding. Martial arts, which can restore a sense of strength. Swimming, which can feel cleansing and soothing. Nature provides a sense of spaciousness and calm that many survivors find healing in. Mindfulness and emotional regulation. Teaching children and adults to regulate their nervous systems is essential. Meditation and grounding with breathing exercises, guided imagery, body scans, mindful coloring, or sensory play. Sensory tools for younger children can include weighted blankets, fidget toys, and soft textures or calming scents. These practices help survivors feel safe in their bodies again. Relationship and community healing. Trauma damages trust. Healing often requires rebuilding it. Safe, predictable routines for children. Open communication without pressure. Affirmations and positive reinforcement. Healthy friendships and mentorships. Supportive partners or chosen family for adults. Connection is one of the most powerful antidotes to trauma, empowering teens and adults to heal themselves. As survivors grow older, they can take a more active role in their healing. For teenagers, choosing their own therapist or support group, setting boundaries in friendships and relationships, exploring identity through art, fashion, or writing, learning self advocacy skills, practicing grounding techniques during triggers. For adults, trauma informed therapy, rewriting internal narratives shaped by childhood abuse, building healthy intimacy at their own pace, engaging in community activism or peer support, and learning to recognize and interpret trauma patterns. Healing is not about erasing the past, it is about reclaiming the future. Childhood sexual abuse can affect every layer of development, from the earliest sense of safety to adult relationships and self worth. But with compassionate support, evidence based tools, and a community that believes survivors, healing is absolutely possible. Children can regain their sense of innocence and safety. Teens can rebuild identity. Adults can reclaim joy, intimacy, and self trust. Trauma may shape a person, but it does not have to define them. With the right support, survivors can grow, thrive, and live full, empowered lives.